Hey yo, what it do, YouTube? We back another day, another day, another day in, another day out. You already know what we're doing, bro. Day 56 of waiting until Superman comes out. And look, it's not out yet. It's more than a month yet, but I'm hype as ever. Like, the trailer has officially been out for about 48 hours. I reacted to that hoe and posted it yesterday type shit. So if you haven't seen my reactions, I went in depth. I did like a good 25-minute type shit. I was on my Dante shit, you know what I mean? And I broke it down. I broke down like the parts that interest me the most. You know, I was super happy to see Metamorpho. I was happy to see Engineer. I was happy to see the clothes type shit. The clothes was fire, you know what I mean? Type shit. It was a great trailer. So yeah, definitely if you haven't seen my reaction, just please go show some love. You know what I mean? It just takes a little something. It's the weekend. If you're watching this, it's probably Friday night already. You know what I mean? It's probably Friday night already. But anyway, that's not what I'm here for. Today, I actually did something special. So I had the day off, you know what I mean? My job gave me the day off type shit. So what I did this morning, I went and bought a coffee. I walked out with some za, went to go get some coffee, got myself a coffee crib type shit, you know what I mean? A real Montreal breakfast. And I went to a park next to my crib, and it's a nice park, you know, it has like a little waterworks type shit. Let's think about my city, bro. It's really like New York in that sense that like there's parks type shit. Like there's like places outside for people to gather and like sort of do their own thing type shit. So you see that everywhere, and it's a super Montreal thing to do. It was lit, bro. It was nice, you know what I mean? So I had brought 3 comic books type shit. But yeah, so I came up with a Superman comic. I came with Batman Beyond and a Nightwing comic. Cause you already know I got the most comics I have of is it's Nightwing. You know what I mean? That's my dog. That's my goat. Dick Grayson is my goat. You know what I mean? Type shit. I grew up on Teen Titans. You can't hate on me. I didn't grow up on Teen Titans. I grew up on Teen Titans. You know what I mean? Type shit. So that's where I get my bias from. And I started off with Batman Beyond, which was an amazing read. As you can see, I had my J in my hand, I had my coffee crisp, and I had my coffee. Look, this is a Montreal breakfast, right? This is a Montreal breakfast for those who don't know. But I started off with Batman Beyond, and I didn't really record much of it because I want to keep some things to myself. I ain't trying to share everything with you guys, you know what I mean? Y'all be too much on my shit. But the art was beautiful. You know, it was Bernard Chang who was the artist on this series, so and you really see the colors bleed out. I love his thick lines and everything, you know. And he still has a lot of realism too, so the art was just beautiful. You know what I mean? We saw the new gods, and honestly, they were putting in work. But everything else about Batman Beyond, I'm gonna keep to myself, because again, you gotta keep some things private. When you're a content creator, bro, I ain't trying to give y'all everything, bro. I want to enjoy some things to myself too, type shit, you know what I mean? Next up was the Nightwing Undercovered, which basically just followed Starfire, looking at a bunch of variant covers of Nightwing. And that shit was so clean, bro. There were so many. One of my favorites off the rip was this sort of like timeline depiction of like, you know, all the different variations of Dick Grayson, as well as all of his homies at the top type shit. And you see everybody. But one thing that really stuck out to me though is the placement of Superman dead at the center and at the top of the thing, you know what I mean? This was another dope cover, and this one was by Bruno Redondo. And what I love the most was just the colors, bro. This shit is so vibrant. And then I just love the colors on this one. Shout out. And I really love this shot of the Teen Titans, you know what I mean? I just love like the Teen Titans. Like I grew up with the Teen Titans, right? And then of course there was Teen Titans Go. I just feel like the Titans are really that bridge between the older generation. Like, you know what I mean? There was a wave, there was a culture of comic book from the 70s, 80s, 50s, all of that. And I think that shit ended in like the 90s, maybe 2000s. And like my generation was sort of that in-between type shit. And I feel like the Titans sort of represent that, you know what I mean? That bridge to the new generation of like comic book hero fans, you know what I mean? Comic books just in general, DC, and the heroes that are coming. So that's what I love about them. And I think that's what this picture represents, you know what I mean? They're the future, bro. They're the future. A couple dope other variants, you know what I mean? Type shit. It was clean as hell. I love seeing, you know, Dick and Barbara, you know. Dick with the shorties, you know what I mean? He always get the shorties, bro. But then we fall on what I think is one of the greatest variant covers of Nightwing, bro, of all time, bro. This was by Vasco, what's his name? Gorgiev? Yeah, Vasco Gorgiev, bro. That shit was just so clean, bro. And then of course summer shots, you know, more casual shots with the brothers, you know. And then you get some shots of Nightwing with the goat, you know what I mean, type shit. And then you get the classic shots of John Kent, Jonathan, and Dick Grayson, bro. I love these shots. I love the color. This is like such a vibrant comic book feel, you know what I mean? So I love it. And then we land on another crazy cover that, like, yo, if you've ever seen my phone, you probably seen me have this like 10 times as my phone background, bro. This is probably my favorite variant cover of Nightwing of all time, bro. I just love the grittiness, the stubble. Like this, I feel like if we were to cast a live action Nightwing, you know what I mean, a live action Dick Grayson in the DCU, I feel like Miles Teller would pull off this look, and he'd be a fire cast. You know what I mean? He has experience and everything like that. I feel like Miles Teller, like, he's young enough to fit this role, but he's also like not young, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like he's not middle age, he's middle age, I don't know, but you know what I mean. So I feel like he'd be a good cast for Nightwing. I don't know. I feel like we definitely need like a Nightwing saga. Like, we need Nightwing standalone movies or like TV shows or like something like an IP for the next DCU. Because, bro, it's Nightwing, bro. It's Nightwing, bro. And shout out to the colors right next to it. You know, I'll fucks with it. You know, contrast. And then we got to go Francesco, bro. He came in, bro. Hold on. This is a classic. I just love this piece because of like the callback art. You know what I mean? It's so retro. It's giving like 80s. It's giving 70s, you know what I mean? I love it, bro. I love it. I feel like if there's any IP, you know, in DC, like any like mainstream IP that could be like a good horror saga, a good horror trilogy, bro, I feel like Nightwing, bro. If we do like a Bloodhaven like horror like trilogy, or even 2 movies, just a little saga in the DCU, I think that shit would be fire. And like Nightwing is the gleeful, like good-hearted, like you know, main character that would fit perfect in a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, he gets broken down by the darkness, by the sinister world, and like we just see him crumble. Like, I could see a good like horror movie saga for Nightwing in the DCU if they want to, you know what I mean? I think it'd just be fire. But and then I feel like these next 2 covers also kind of cover that too. A bunch of Campbell works in this, bro. I love the whole color on his arms, you know? Of course, they gotta sneak in some goddamn thirst traps, you know, but it's Nightwing. It is what it is. And then it ends with Bitewing and Nightwing sleeping together, bro. You know what I mean? It's a nice, like, it's a fan service. It's a fan service comic, you know what I mean? And honestly, as a comic book fan, that shit is just fire, you know what I mean? Like, one of the main aspects as to why we love this medium, sorry, it's the art, you know, it's the skills, it's the talent. So, but now we go to Superman and Zod. You know what I mean, type shit. But before we get to Superman and Zod, you know, I just had to show y'all my breakfast. It was a coffee crisp and a Starbucks Frappuccino, you know what I mean? A real Canadian breakfast, a real Montreal breakfast. This is a real Montreal breakfast, you know what I mean? In a park with the Zod, you know what I mean? Coffee crisp and coffee. Psh, that's a well nutrient breakfast up here in Montreal, you know what I mean? I just love how this starts with a page of like kids arguing, their power scaling between each other. Then of course you hear the Justice League right next to them, you know, obviously overhearing it. Superman be roasting Bruce, bro. What do you mean? He told him right into his face. He said, you realize he wouldn't even be close, right, Bruce? Oh nah, bro, he's violating. He's saying, bro, it wouldn't even be close. Diana would wash you. That's what he's saying to Bruce, bro. That shit is brutal, bro. And then Diana's like, why is it always like this with you? Oh, I know it wouldn't be close, Clark, bro. Batman is like, bro, you holding me, bro. But I bet you Batman was thinking like, bro, remember that time I put you on your ass, though. This is the Kryptonian Alliance, so it starts off with Zod, you know, like kind of pleading to Superman, well, the House of El, and then he's saying, yo, look, as the House of Zod and the House of Kandor, you know what I mean? Like, they got everybody represented. It's a beautiful depiction of this Unity saga, you know what I mean? I just love this speech. He's like, together here, the planet Jakku can become the new Krypton, bro. He's deep in it. But all of us bathing in godlike power granted to us by the glorious yellow sun. Oh, you know, they're getting amped up. From their extension to a new race of super gods, he's cooking, bro. That can reshape the galaxy for a better tomorrow. Like, that's the thing with Zod, bro. I feel like a lot of y'all be hoeing him. Yes, he's a villain. Zod don't care. Whatever his goal needs, if it means like wiping out millions of people, he gonna do that shit. But you can't tell me that Zod doesn't have like, not a noble cause, but like, bro, he watched his whole planet get destroyed by Brainiac. But I love the art. Like, this is what I love too about comics books, bro. The double spreads. You see everybody, the whole council is there, but that shit is just beautiful, you know what I mean? What I really like is he calls out to Clark himself. He's like, bro, like be for real, like we can actually do this shit. Like this, like, you know, I understand I was holding the Earth and like you protected that hole, and like you know, you chose Earth over Krypton. But the thing is, like right now, like nobody like with this plan, nobody's getting hold. Nobody's getting hold. You know what I mean? He's like, bro, we can do this for Krypton. He's like, come on, let's do this, gang. He was crying, bro. We saw Zod cry, my nigga. We saw Zod cry, bro. Y'all playing with it. We saw Zod cry. He said this what I work for. He said this what I work for, gang. He said I lost my planet, bro. And then what happens? What happens? They get hold. Boom! Niggas get hold out of nowhere, bro. And who the hell pulls up? As always, creeping up with Aura, bro. This is an Aura farmer, bro. I'm sick of this nigga, bro. Look at Zod, bro. He's like, fuck. And Rogal is only focused on Superman. But it turns out all of that shit was just a flashback. And then we switch back to the Phantom Zone, right? And right now, that's Superman right now in the Phantom Zone, bro. He's going through it. He's been fighting Rogal for non-stop, you know what I mean? But then Rogal's like, yeah, bro, I'm not even gonna chase him, bro. We in the Phantom Zone. He ain't got nowhere to go, you know what I mean? Type shit. He's like, bro, he ain't got nowhere to go, so it's all good. At the same time, somebody had pulled up on Zod and told him like, bro, the Earth disappeared. Zod pulls up to Earth and Adam Strange was already there, type shit. He's like, hey, what the hell happened? He turns around, Zod is there, and he's like, bro, the Earth disappeared. He's like, bro, is this the Earth? This shit got shrunk. Like, why is it so small? But then as they say that, like, it's like growing, like it's literally growing in front of them. Like, I don't know, it looks like it's kind of instantaneous. It's not too clear, but I think so, you know what I mean? And then as things grow, Zod pulls up on Captain Adam. Quick interruption, so I was just peeping this as I was editing this. Obviously, the day I recorded this, I was lit as fuck, so I didn't notice. But Zod pulled up on Adam, not Captain Adam. Like Adam, A-T-O-M, Adam himself, you know what I mean, type shit, not Captain Adam, which is a separate character, kind of the same prototype, but just, y'all already know. Hey, look, Adam and Captain Adam always get mixed up, it is what it is. Because Captain Adam, he got the Phantom Zone projector. That means he can shoot anybody into the Phantom Zone, you know what I mean, type shit. And Zod pulls up on it. He says, buddy, shoot the Phantom Zone projector on me. He says, shoot the Phantom Zone projector on me, cause I'm Zod, nigga. Look at him. He says, I'm Zod. What do you mean? Am I sure if I want to go to the Phantom? He says, send me to the Phantom Zone now. He's on timing, bro. I'm telling you, he's on timing, bro. But it's Zod we talking about. It's Zod we talking about. So then Captain Adam's like, hey, you know what? If you want to, bro. He said, if you want to, bro. That's on you. That's on you. So he shoots his ass over there. You know what I mean? And then we switch back to Rogal and Superman. They're just chilling on the Phantom Zone. That's what I'm. Hey, look, Rogal be holding everybody he meets, right? Rogal be holding everybody he meets. I'm gonna say one thing. He let Superman have his moment of introspection. He's like, you know what? Superman wants some time to go think. Let's stop fighting for 2 seconds. He let him go. That's a W, man. That's a W, man. So then Superman was aura farming, you know what I mean? Looking over the cliff type shit. He's like, bro, life. And actually, Superman has a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? He's thinking about his entire history on Earth, his life. He's like, they told me my path. You know, I was sent to Earth, and he's okay with that. He's okay with his life sort of not being predetermined, but he's okay with, like, you know, the events that occurred that led him to his life. But he keeps it a buck though. He keeps it a buck. He's like, you know what? The only reason why I'm a real nigga is because I'm a real nigga. You know what I mean? He's like, I could have been crashing out if I wanted to. But he says, hey, being honorable though, sometimes it takes a lot from you. And on your bad days, on God it does. And that's why I fucks with Superman, because he's super. He's this like almost godly being. However, he's so real. He's so like down to earth. He goes to the same shit that we do. And then he keeps it a buck too. He says, bro, if I wanted to, I could blow this whole dimension up. He said, I'm Superman, buddy. If I was really on timing, bro, if I didn't have an honor, bro, it'd be up for everybody. And he's right. He's like, you know what? Maybe I should turn up. He says, Rogo really thinks he's all that. Maybe I should turn up, my dog. And he even says, like, bro, like, honestly, the only reason why I should be happening is because I don't take it. Like, I don't turn up from off rip, bro. He doesn't turn off rip. But at the same time, Ma and Pa Kent pull up in his mind, bro. And Ma and Pa Kent are telling him, like, bro, like, this is life. You're going through tests. It's testing you right now. Especially you're super. The greater you are, the greater the test type shit. You know what I mean? He's like, damn, you're right. He literally says, sorry, dad. You know what I mean? He's like, I was tripping. He's like, even if he got to go through this turmoil in the Phantom Zone, like, bro, he did his job. When he gets his resolve, he turns out, like, Superman unlocks a new zone, and he's just like, he's something different. To finish off the volume, he pulls back up on Rogal, right? usually they only speak with fists, they only speak with boxing, you know, that's all they do. However, I love that they're having this nice beautiful moment, you know what I mean? Superman tries to like reason with him. He's like, hey bro, like, are you doing all this because like you got hold by Kryptonians? And he's like, bro, like let's keep it a buck. I'm a real ass nigga, bro. I'm a real, he says, bro, like fuck all that talk no jutsu. We some real niggas. We go box, you know what I mean? He says, this is the path I chose, this is the path I lead type shit, you know what I mean? And then you get that beautiful shot. I love these perspective shots. It's like, shit doesn't have to be fine art, you know what I mean? First of all, everything else is beautiful, but then you just see both of them sort of as shadows, almost their silhouette in color. It's gorgeous. He says he sees the truth now, you know what I mean? And then before you guys start thinking, oh yeah, this on some sweet shit, this is not Naruto, this ain't no talk no jutsu. He says Rogal, guess what, my dog? He says you never leaving the Phantom Zone, and that's on me. And look at the aura face he makes, bro. And I'm not gonna cap. It's not just Superman that be delivering these W-ass dialogue. Rogal is pinned too. He says, I know if I was faced with the destruction of my people, my race, my planet, my system of belief, I would know nothing but murderous rage. And he's right. On some real shit. He says, you know what? If I went through all that shit you think I went through, I'd be exactly what I am today. So in a way, he's saying, hey, you went through that and you're not that. That's crazy. But he's saying, bro, if I went through that, it'd be up for niggas. It'd be up for niggas. So in a way, he's kind of dissing him. He's like, I would know nothing but fiery bloodlust, the likes of which no mortal could ever come back from. He's saying, bro, I would be teed like I am today. And he's teed. And look at his face, bro. This is the face of somebody who's been through war for real, bro. This is the face of somebody who's been through war for real. He says, Krypton, Kandor, and you still can't bring yourself to try to kill me. So now I know you never. And he was about to say, I know you never will. He's basically calling Superman weak. But he doesn't realize that Superman was saying, hey, bro, you stay in the Phantom Zone, I'm finna beat your ass. But he didn't understand that. But anyway, he got interrupted by something crazy. Something seems to have crashed. Because in case you forgot what we were reading 5 minutes ago, a certain someone was sent to the Phantom Zone. And that voice reads out, you're very right, creature. Crazy ass nigga, bro. Look at Superman. Even Superman felt the recoil from that shit, bro. He says, Kal-El is above revenge, but I am Zod. Look at this man. Tell me that's why I hate it when y'all play with that man's name, bro. I hate it when y'all play with that man's name, bro. Y'all talking like Zod isn't feared, bro. Look at this aura. He pulls up with the action. But that's how the volume ends, unfortunately, and that shit was just amazing, bro. This was drawn by Ivan Reyes, and oh my goodness, bro, you cooked with that shit, bro. The aura, bro. The aura, it's beautiful. Amazing cover. So those were the 3 comic books I read today. Batman Beyond, Nightwing Undercovered, and Superman Kryptonian Alliance. You know what I mean? That shit was fire. Oh shit. It just started storming outside, bro. So look, let me know if y'all fuck with this format, you know what I mean? It's summertime, it's starting to get warmer. I got hella more comics that I haven't read yet, so I'm definitely gonna keep doing this. But I'm probably gonna do this tomorrow because it's a weekend. And look, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to your boy, you know what I mean? I'm dropping a video every day, counting down until the next Superman movie comes out on my birthday. And you already know I be posting reactions and reviews and just content every day on TikTok and IG, so y'all make sure y'all go follow that. And we hit 25K the other day. It was just a couple days ago. We already going up type shit, you know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody that fucks with me for real, bro. Deep down, I love y'all, bro. You know what I mean? We're on a grind, and if you fuck with Conti fucks with you. Let me know what you thought about the comic books I read too. If you got some suggestions, let me know. I got a couple comic books I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read Atom City. My fault. I'm looking at the window. I'm trying to read Atom City. I'm trying to read Silver Surfer Requiem. You know what I mean? That's definitely that's definitely the next thing I buy. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of other shit I'm trying to read. So you know what I mean? So give me suggestions in the comments. That's pretty much it, gang. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow with the next video for the next countdown. W Superman, W Chat, W all of y'all. I love y'all. It's Conti.